Hi everyone, Tracy here with Paper Closet Designs. In today's video, we are going to assemble the snow globe lanterns. Let me show you one that is about halfway completed so that you can see what I'm talking about. So these go together very similar to the pumpkin lanterns that we did for Halloween and Thanksgiving, and they were really popular. So this time I've done them as a snow globe with a Christmas design, and this one we will get to in a minute. It's half completed. So first I'm going to show you on this one how to assemble the snow globe and the panels, and then we will go from there. So something that I want to tell you is, depending on where you purchase this, you'll either purchase them in sets or singularly. So with the poinsettia that I'm doing first, this is just one, and whether you buy it at Silhouette or myscrapchick.com, it'll just be the poinsettia. If you purchase, I have 3 more sets, and if you purchase those at on the Silhouette store, they will be individual. So I'll use this one for example. We have the Nativity, we have Oh Holy Night, and we have the stars. So this would be 3 separate files on the Silhouette store. If you buy this from My Scrap Chick for their Black Friday special, this will be a set, and you'll get all 3 in one, and so you can do all of them. You can mix and match, so you could do 2 together or 1, whatever you want. And I have 3 sets, and as we go along, I will let you know. But this is only available at myscrapchick.com. So let's go ahead and jump in, and we are going to do the poinsettia first. So let me show you what pieces come with it before we assemble it. So you will have right up here, these are the embellishment panels for the base, and they are completely optional. You don't have to add them on. I'll bring this one out again, but it will be for the top here. And then we have down here, we have the sets for the bottom. Like I said, this is completely optional. I do like them because it gives it a little bit of strength to your snow globe, but they will work just fine even if you don't use those. So those pieces are optional. You will have 2 solids, and then you'll have 4 sets that are 2 pieces each. And then for the bottom, you will have 6 sets that are 2 pieces each. And we're going to go ahead and do that in just a minute. You'll have your inside dials. The one with the, can you see that? Let me hold it this way. The one with the little piece cut out of the middle, that is for the bottom. And it's kind of a, excuse me, it's kind of a hexagon shape. The round shape without anything is the top piece. You will have 6 panels. I've already assembled 4 of them, so I'm going to show you with these 2. You will have 6 inner pieces, and if you're going to put a light in these, I would suggest that you do this with vellum. You could also do it with just white paper if you just wanted a snow globe and you're not going to put the lights in it, or pattern paper. And then you have the actual base pieces, and they are numbered. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to show you how to go ahead and do those, and then a little trick because we're actually going to cover up those numbers. So first off, let's push that aside, and let's add our vellum to our panel pieces. So you want to flip the panel pieces over, and then just add glue. And you don't need a ton of glue, but you do need, if you've got some big pokey up pieces, you'll want those to be glued down. I like to use a glue that can dry clear because it's going to ooze out until it's dry. And I'm using Scotch Tacky glue. I've put it in a little needle nose bottle or a quilling bottle. And then I just add a little bit of water to mine to thin it out. So once you've got some glue on it, then you're going to take your vellum and you're going to line it up. And just fold it down. And I like to do the panels first so that the glue can dry while I'm assembling the snow globe. And you'll see that it did ooze out a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just going to set that to the side, and I'm going to flip this one over and try not to do it in that same place that has the glue. I just mixed up some more glue before I started this so that I wouldn't run out, and I might have put just a hair too much water in there. I do like to have the water, it makes it a little bit thinner, but sometimes if you do too much, it goes runny. Okay, just lay that down. And there is that piece. Okay, now let's go ahead and decorate the fronts, or actually you decorate both the front and the back of your base pieces. Now, like I said, you're going to cover these up, these numbers, and so, but they need to go together in a certain order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do step 3 first, or piece 3 first, and then 2, and then 1, and set them aside so that they are in the right order. So all you're going to do is just glue these on, and there is a little bit of an angle, so you want to make sure that you're matching that angle. Slide that out of the way, and then this one has the slot that comes all the way down, so we're going to use one of the sets that is divided. And I am not going to assemble every snow globe. I'm just going to do this one because they're all exactly the same. Okay, so once those are done, we're going to flip it over and do the same thing again. And these pieces are optional. You could do them in a coordinating color. You could do them in some printed paper if you wanted to. Take that right out of the mat. You couldn't see it on the screen. So you could do them in a coordinating color or a printed paper. You could do them out of the same color if you were just doing it to add strength to your snow globe. When we did those pumpkins, I had a lot of people asking me about the paper that we used. I use weight 65. That seems to work really well. With these, you could go a little bit heavier, but 65 worked. Okay, so there's number 3. I'm going to set number 3 to the side. You can't really see it. And we're going to do number 2. So same thing. I'm going to put the bottom pieces on first. Guess it doesn't really matter which you do. And they're just put on so that there's a little tiny bit of a shadow showing behind it. The snow globe pieces could be cut out of different colors. So if you wanted 3 different colors in your snow globe, you could do that as well. Okay, this one also has a slot, this time at the top and on the bottom. So we're going to use the divided set again. Ooh, I might be 1 set shy. Nope, we're good. We're good. Flip it over. We're going to add the bottom pieces. And again, the angled piece goes towards the outside. have the divided set again for the top. Oops, I bumped that. And I did this one out of black so that you could see it. Sometimes it's hard to see white on the table, and some of these I am going to do in white, but the snow globe I did out of black so it would really show up. Okay, so there's piece 2. I'm going to take piece 2 and lay it right on top of piece 3, or yeah, piece 3, and now I'm going to do piece 1. I'm going to start with the bottom. And if you do not put these embellishment pieces on, don't worry about the numbers. They are close enough onto the middle that they'll be hidden. Whoops, I did the wrong side of that one. So we're gonna have to flip it over. You want to make sure, there's the edge. You want to make sure that it's not right up on the edge, but down just a little bit. And then for the top, number 1 is going to have the solid piece. Flip it over. This one goes on here, and I know that I had that other piece. I'm wondering if I dropped it on the floor, because I checked before I brought everything over here. And I'm not seeing it. So you'll have one more piece that goes right here. I'll get that when I do the pictures. I think it's probably on the floor somewhere. Okay, so there is our piece number 1. To assemble this, we're going to take piece number 1, and then you're going to take piece number 2, so it's the top one in your pile over here, and you're going to slide the 2 grooves together. So we have a groove right here and a groove right here. We're going to slide those together and lock them in place. And then the top of number 2 has a slit, and it's going to go in the bottom slit of piece number 1. Just like that. Then we're going to fold it flat, and we're going to take piece number 3, which has the 1 slit on the bottom and the 1 slit on the top. I'm going to put the bottom in first, and then slide in the top just like that. So it should fold flat, and then you can open it up. Next, we're going to take our top piece, so it's the round one without the mark, and we're going to put it in here. And I'm going to try and do this the best I can so you can see it on camera, and I'm working around the camera leg. But you'll have these little slots in your top piece, and then you also have these little slots. I'm going to hold that up really close on your snow globe. So that piece right there. And they just tuck in there like that. And I found the easiest way to do it was to do 1, count over 3, 1, 2, 3, and then put the 3rd one in right there. So they're opposite. Did that make any sense? Probably not. And then you're just going to work around the circle and put those in. And this is why you don't want anything that's super, super heavy, because then it makes it really difficult to work those in. Okay, so it should look like that. That one's not quite in right. Let me pull it around here so I can see it. Okay, so there it is. And everything is locked into place, and it's ready to go. So next we're going to take the bottom piece, and that's the one that has the mark in the middle, and we're going to do the same thing, only we're going to put it in here in the bottom under these little arms. And if you do the top first, I found that's a little bit easier, and then the bottom ones go in fairly easy. I say that, and then I can't do it because I'm looking around this thing. Once you've done one or two of these, you're going to be amazed at how quick and easy they are to put together. The first one or two are going to be tricky, and then they're just going to slide together so quickly. Okay, so see, just like that. There you go. And that is how you're going to assemble your snow globe for all of these projects. And then all you'll do, I don't know if it's going to be best to see it this way or that direction, but you're going to take your panels, and you have 2 notches, and you're just going to slip them in the bottom first, kind of curve it a little bit, and slip it in the top. And do that for all 6 panels, just working all the way around. This is not that hard. I'm just kind of working at a weird angle here. What is the deal? Okay, there we go. Next one. Oh, this is one of the ones I just did that's a little bit wet. Slide it in, curve it a little bit. I'm out of the camera view. So you're just gonna pop it down in there and then twist it, or not even twist it, just bend it a little bit and pop it through. There you go. And then when you get your 5th one in, at this point, you can go ahead and turn your light on and stick it in there. Now it is full bright day in here, so you're probably not going to be able to see that light very well. And then just put your last panel in. And there is the top view of the Poinsettia snow globe. If I turn it this way, there's what it's going to look like. And it does have the votive candle in there, but it's falling around. Okay, so that is the poinsettia. This one is just the single one. Let's move on and do the Holy Night set. And like I said, that one has the Nativity, Oh Holy Night, and the stars. So here are your panels. We have Oh Holy Night, we have the stars, and we have the Nativity. I'm going to start with the Nativity, so you're going to turn it over and add glue. Now the points on your star, when it's bent, they are going to poke up unless you have them glued down pretty good. So you're going to want to do some thin lines on those star points so that they will stick to the vellum or whatever paper you're putting underneath it. Just get along the edge there. And then you'll want to do the same thing with the Nativity. You don't want those poking out, so you want to have some decent glue, and even on his staff, which is pretty tiny. And then we're gonna just finish it off. Take your vellum, line it up. Oops, sorry, I keep bumping that. And there is the Nativity. Next up, we have the star. The stars are really easy. You're just going to put glue. Now this time you want to make sure you have glue on the inside points of that star so that they don't poke up when you're giving it that rounded curve. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Take your vellum, match it up. Flip it over, let it dry for a few minutes, and then we're going to do the Oh Holy Night. So this one is a little bit different. You want to make sure that when you turn it over that you're reading it backwards. Otherwise, it's going to be backwards when you put it in the globe. So flip it over, make sure that it's backwards, and you want to make sure that you get glue on these little points, especially like on the points of the N, inside your G. And I'm actually going to do those first, just to make sure that I don't forget them. Inside of the H. Okay, now go ahead and put glue. I'll get the inside of that Y. And this has been cut out as a stencil, so you don't need to worry about the middle of your O's, the middle of your G's. They don't need to be glued on separately. You just need to make sure that you have glue in them, but you don't. They're not separate pieces. The panels are just one piece. Some of these that I've seen online, you'll have the little tiny pieces, like the inside of a O or the inside of a flower, and that makes it kind of a pain. So there's our Oh Holy Night. The glue's still wet, and then you would just put them in the same way. I'm not going to because the glue's still wet, but you just put them in there, and you can mix and match them or make it one solid, the same panels all the way around. Okay, so let's slide those out. The next one, and I hope this shows up because I did it in light blue and white, is the winter. And so we have the panels that have the Snowman, Let It Snow, and the Snowflakes. And for this snow globe, I cut it out in blue, and then I did my panels in white, the top and bottom embellishment panels, little pieces. You could do it out of any color. You could do the whole thing white, the whole thing blue, but that is the winter set, or you can buy those individually. And we're going to go ahead and assemble those. So the first one we'll do is the Snowflakes. And I know that that is really hard to see on that white table, but we're just going to add some glue. This one you don't need to worry too much about the little corners. They're pretty, it lays down pretty flat. But you do want to make sure you get glue on the edges and on the tab. Take your vellum. And this would be really pretty if you were doing it as a snow globe and not the lantern. Like do white paper behind it and then do your panels and your snow globe in blues or light pinks, light purples, just your winter colors. Okay, there's that one. Then we have the Let It Snow, and again, this one has words, so you're going to want to flip it over and make sure before you glue it that if you're gluing to the back, it reads backwards. I'm getting quite a bit of glue right there, so we're going to move it down here. And again, you're going to want to make sure that you get inside any of those little pokey pieces. So like the inside of the L, the inside of the N, the inside of the W, just any of those little triangles that might pop up when you're kind of rounding that off. I hope that makes sense. It's not, as soon as you do it, you'll figure out what I'm talking about. Then we're going to line that up. And there is our Let It Snow. So we're going to set that aside. And then we have the Snowman. The Snowman doesn't really matter which way he's turning or facing. So I'm going to tip it over to the back and add the glue. Make sure you get glue on the snowflake pieces and on the hat pieces. Do the tabs and the sides. You can see why I like to use the little needle nose bottle on these. Take your vellum And there is, oh, I'm getting glue everywhere. There is our little snowman. And really, truly, once these dry, they are so pretty. So there's our snowman, Let It Snow, and the snowflakes. Okay, one last one. Sorry, I bumped that. This is the Santa Claus Snow Globe set. This is the set, and then we have the individual pieces. So we have Santa Claus, we have Ho Ho Ho, and we have the Christmas lights. And I cut this out of red and did white embellishments and white panels with the vellum behind it. Again, you can do any color that you want. So we have the 3 panels. We have Santa Claus, we have the lights, and we have Ho Ho Ho. And then we have our 3 pieces of vellum again. So I'm going to start with Ho Ho Ho. One more time, if you're doing words, you want to flip it backwards and make sure that it's reading backwards before you add the vellum to the back of it. So I'm going to put glue, and I'm going to put glue on the inside part of the O and on those little tabs on the H. And then on the bottom tab and on the sides and anything that you think might poke out. Okay, then we're going to take our vellum. I'm going to do it this way because it's already curving. Match that vellum up. Smooth it out. There is our Ho Ho Ho. Wipe that down. Next, we're going to take the Christmas lights and flip them over. You do want to make sure that you get glue on the tips of the Christmas lights so that they don't poke up. I know I sound kind of like a broken record, don't I? And then get your tabs and the edges. There's our Christmas lights. I got that off to the side just a little bit. There we go, much better. So there's our Christmas lights. And then we have Santa. Now Santa, of all of the pieces that I've done, has the most little details. But it's fine, he works out great. We're just going to flip him over. We want to make sure that we've got glue on the hat and on the ball, on his nose, and then as we can on the mustache and the beard. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then get your tabs and the edges. Add your vellum. I do think one of the problems I did was I put too much water in my glue. And there is our Santa. Isn't he cute? This one would be fun if you weren't doing it as a lantern. If you were going to do it just as the snow globe, you could put red paper behind him. That would be really cute. All right, that is all there is to it. Let's go ahead and see if our glue has dried enough that we can finish this one off. So I'm going to take my my Oh Holy Night and stick it in. And then bring it up here and pop it up through the top. We're going to do the Nativity, same thing, put it in the bottom. Pop it up through the top. Go ahead and put your light in there if you wanted to. And then this last one. glue is still just a little bit wet, so I'm not going to try the other ones. And then there is Oh Holy Night. Isn't that so fun? Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you will give these little lanterns a try. They are so much fun, and they would just be beautiful sitting on a shelf or as part of your centerpiece, or even to make little gifts. Thanks for joining me. Please hit subscribe down below so you don't miss any of my videos. Give me a thumbs up. Merry Christmas and have a great day.